Another thing, here we go. It's funny. Each of these temples kind of follows the same trajectory, and Cody and Heber have been neck and neck ever since we started reporting 2023, right? It's another thing that kind of launched Mormonish because there was this temple stuff going on. This is the Heber Valley UT Temple. It was announced way back in 2021. This has been ongoing. There was a very quick groundbreaking October of 2022, and then it kind of hit the fan from there on, and we've all been reporting on it. This is a mega temple. This is 210 feet tall and almost 88,000 square feet. And I'm not going to go into all the details, the problems with it. There's a watershed. They're going to have to pump out millions of gallons initially and 1 million gallons a day. It's in the flight plan of the Heber Airport. There's just all kinds of issues with this temple. And, 2 different residence groups had sort of launched petitions, lawsuits, one having to do with dark skies and one having to do with the way that it was passed. And this is county land in the middle of a city. And that's kind of what it all stems from. The county passed a Legislative Development Agreement Act saying, sure, build it. They threw out things that had been in place for dark skies for 20 years, just threw it out and paved the way for this to happen. A lot of residents said, hey, wait a minute, this didn't go through any kind of due process. This is the county. LDS members, one member on the county council stood next to President Nelson with a golden shovel at the groundbreaking. So there are all these questions about this council and how quickly they passed it. So we talked last week about the summary judgment. The ruling finally came in, and the Judge Mabee said construction can go forward on the Heber Valley Temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints after a judge said Wednesday that the Wasatch County's approval of the project was legal. The lawsuit that's still in place says, nope, a legislative development agreement, that's not how you do it. You got to have public input. You got to be able to vote on it. You guys, as a small council, standing next to President Nelson with a golden shovel, just passed it, wiped out all, zoning codes, dark sky ordinances. That's the kind of the crux of their lawsuit. Simplistically, it says construction can go forward on the Heber Valley Temple of I'm just going to stop saying Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I think I can cut like 10 minutes off of the show if I just say the church.
You should start every paragraph with, and it came to pass.
And it came to pass. I'm not kidding. Wrapping your mouth around that. I'll be so glad when they go to the Church of Jesus Christ. That'll shorten it in half. The judge said Wednesday that the Wasatch County application of the project was legal. The decision from the 4th District Judge ends the legal battle as to whether the county's use of the Legislative Development Agreement, again, that's just the county commission saying, stamp, yep, we're going to do it, to approve the project violated federal or state laws. And this is what the residents group who's suing was trying to say. A small group of residents in Red Ledges, the neighborhood across the street from the future temple site, sued the county in November of 2023, shortly after the leaders announced their plans to go forward. And then the church joined the lawsuit. This happens in all the towns. The residents are eventually to protect themselves, sue their own town. The church joins with the town with their deep pockets so that they can get what they want. It has happened. There's a playbook. Everybody knows that by now. So anyway, the judge heard the oral arguments, and she just came back saying that those arguments are not well supported. Go ahead and build your temple. Here's a picture of the groundbreaking. You see President Nelson. So exciting. It's all going to happen. And then just this afternoon, I barely had time to make slides and I didn't have time to print anything out. I learned that the residents group who had launched the lawsuit is going to take it up to the Supreme Court of Utah. But before we talk about that, I wanted to play this really quick. This is something that happened very early on. There was a meeting where residents were allowed to come in and talk. And this is a representative talking about the dark skies lawsuit. Look what happens, and I played this before, but I don't think you can play it enough. Look what happens when a resident in the town tries to talk about a legal issue, a procedural issue, to an LDS county council. Look how she's treated. Look how the council aligns itself as if they were the LDS church. This council is supposed to be representing this person speaking. She's a resident. They're supposed to be representing LDS members. They're supposed to be representing everyone in the area. But just watch how she's treated, and you'll see what they've been dealing with the whole time.
We talk to a lot of people all over the valley, and we interact with a lot of people all over the valley. And mostly what we've heard is it doesn't matter. They're not going to listen. They've never listened. They won't engage. And I don't believe that's true. And I can't believe that's true. We also get accused of being religious bigots and only caring about the temple. And I'm telling you, that's not true. And everywhere we go, we say the same thing. So I want to read something very quickly. Russell Nelson, president of the Church of Latter-day Saints, spoke in February about the need for members of the church to be peacemakers. He explained that now is the time to cease insisting that it is your way or no way. He challenged followers of the faith to examine their discipleship within the context of the way you treat others. I bless you to make your adjustments that may be needed so that your behavior is enabling, respectful, and representative of true followers of Jesus Christ.
It's not the Church of Latter-day Saints. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Just to make sure that's clear.
It's clear.
Thank you.
I was reading how it was written.
Okay.
My apologies.
So what's the point of that comment?
The point of that is,
Yes. I mean, are you saying we're not?
no, but the point of that is we're trying to outreach to the community and share our concerns and our thoughts. We are not against the temple. We have never said we're against the temple. We get characterized as that, but that is not the case. I just wanted to make that statement because I hear it continuously, mostly on social media, but I've heard others get up and speak along the way that that's the case, and it's not true.
And you've had members of your group on a podcast called Mormonish, which is absolutely
That was me.
which is absolutely against what we're doing and
And you
anti-religious.
would not have heard anything out of my mouth against the faith or a temple. And in fact, I stated that pretty much the same thing on that.
Well, and I
But
have
we have to have a means of communicating with people. It's
Yeah.
very, very difficult to communicate in the valley and the state.
well, I haven't had a chance to go back and listen to it and write it down exactly the way it was said. But in that podcast, very close to the front, I don't remember whether I believe it was the gentleman that was with you that made the statement. But the statement was made at the time the temple was announced, how many months before the location was determined. The statement was made by that gentleman was, "Oh, there goes our dark skies." Not having a clue where it was
No,
going to
I
be
don't
put.
believe
That was
that's
already
correct.
concerned. I'll go listen to it. It's there.
I'd appreciate it, and I'll be happy to talk with you further. It's
Yeah.
not an issue.
So I heard that
I'm
and I thought, wait a
representing-
minute, there was a question.
I think we're getting off.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So let me
nothing.
finish. Thank you so much. So why are we we
I
want to
think
show you
that's
an
the end.
example of what the
Yeah.
county
Again, yes, there go our dark skies because your legislative development agreement overturned a 20-year dark sky ordinance, right? But you can see how that council, it was the LDS church. It was. Do you know what I mean? What we and your unmute RFM. I want to get your take. It's
Said,
just
you know, if
so
I'd been that lady
difficult.
and she did great, but I would say,
Yeah.
why are you so threatened by freedom of speech? What do you have against the First Amendment? You need to tell us right now, because maybe you're not fit to hold public office in the United States.
Yeah. Well, what had happened is they had approached all different news stations and they'd been turned down. They had even taped an interview with a news station and then they were told to pull it. So when she said, we can't get anyone to listen to our point of view, she meant it. You know, you have to try everything else before you come on Mormonish. But I just show that because it represents.
I mean, we turned her down. She tried to get on this show. We said, forget
we didn't
about it.
get on that. We'd take anybody in those days. But again, I just show this to
I'm
show
kidding, of
what an
course.
uphill climb it is. And the accusation of religious bigotry every time. And that's not what's happening. So anyway, I just wanted to revisit that really quick. Any thoughts on that, Bill? And then I'll finish out.
Is anyone offended easier than Mormons are offended. If Mormons
It's not
Mormons-
the church.
you can't even shorten the 82-word name of the church to just trying to get it out of your mouth as fast as possible. And Mormons are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you didn't say the full name of the church. Oh, you must hate us. You must be persecuting us. No, it's just a lot to say.
I can't believe you said the second name of the church instead of the third name of the church.
I just want to say it with less words. I just want to get it out faster.
Because that used to be the name of the church. God used to be cool
Yeah.
with that before he changed his mind in 1838.
Yeah, and she was actually reading that statement from President Nelson from a news article where the news article called them the Church of the Latter Day, because they make that mistake all the time. Nobody knows what to say. So many headlines say the Church of the Latter Day. So anyway, we don't have to go back to my slides, Bill. I'll just paraphrase very quickly. But anyway, the ruling by Judge Mabee, and now all of a sudden breaking news, the residents from Red Ledges, they are going to continue with their suit. They're going to appeal up to the Supreme Court of Utah, saying, no, there were irregularities in how this was passed. The legislative development agreement is not legal. And their lawyer said they just don't really think that Judge maybe didn't quite understand, everything that was going on. So just like Cody, Wyoming, if you guys remember this, they escalated it all the way up to the Supreme Court of Wyoming, saying
Yes.
there were irregularities. There was a city planner. And unfortunately, that ruling just came back, as we reported a month or so ago. Go ahead and build, so it's the same trajectory and usually the same result, but here they're going to try it. So we will keep you updated.